PTK this afternoon. First and foremost, we have a few people going to regional convention. Those of you who are going, March 1st through March 2nd, we'll probably leave not early morning, mid-morning on the 1st, because usually there's no events until the afternoon/evening. So that'll give us time to check into our hotel and get over to campus. Now, we don't have to go all the way to Birmingham, so traffic isn't quite as bad. The Shelby campus is on this side of Birmingham, so it's a little bit easier to get to. Now, fundraiser, we were planning on Valentine's Day. I was not even in this time zone on Valentine's Day. So we do need to work out a new date, and that's why I have this up on the screen for a fundraiser. And I don't want to compete with the honors fundraiser. So we need to figure out a day. Here's March. We're looking at the 12th for the honors fundraiser. Okay, this is the last week before spring break. We are out. That's 2018. Oh boy. It's been one of those couple of weeks, unfortunately. That was one of Dave Letterman's best jokes that, when the Chinese New Year would come around, it'd be like you're the dog, and he's like, yeah, I'm still writing you're the rat on my checks. You guys, how many of you have actually ever written a check? Okay, good. Just don't do it at the grocery store, because I have been known to tell people to stuff it. Are you check at the grocery store? And then with little old ladies, I usually bite my lip and very patient. Sorry. Okay, so we're going to be out on the 4th and the 5th for Mardi Gras. Here's spring break. So really, the 6th or the 7th might be our best dates on one of these 2 days for the fundraiser. I think Thursday is still the best day because of the Baptist Campus Ministries in terms of getting additional sales, because there's a lot of people that congregate in one place on those days. So my goal would be to pay for at least one and maybe two people's international conference fees through the fundraiser, which means raising about $600. That's a goal. If we don't reach it, it's not going to be the end of the world. But do you think each of you could probably get maybe, say, 10 dozen pre-orders by on the 7th? Okay, so let's go ahead and plan on March the 7th for our fundraiser. And I can send out the order form hopefully today. I know when we scheduled it last time, it didn't come out, but that's because my mind was elsewhere with other things. So we have for international convention our hotel rooms selected. Now, one issue that I have to correct is the last time we were in Orlando, we were at the Swan and Dolphin. I assume we were at the same place. They're going to be at the Gaylord Conference Center this time. I think PTK has signed a 5 or 10 year contract with Gaylord Hotels because when we were in Washington, D.C., that's where we were. Nashville, same deal. Kansas City, I think, was a Gaylord Conference Center as well, or at least it was owned by the same company. So I think that's where we're going to be. But that's what the resort looks like. And we will plan on having at least an afternoon at the park. I'm going to square away those plans at regional, talk to my fellow advisors. Because the last time it was in Orlando, I hadn't been made advisor yet. So I don't know all the details. It's the first time for me on that. Questions on the international convention? Dates or anything like that? Hold on to the calendar. Sure. Going down. Okay. I need to double check the reservation. Arrive on April 4th and leave April 7th. April 7th is the Sunday. So we're not going to leave right after. I don't think any of you have been here long enough to go on the coastal bus where they like to leave. The Bay Minette chapter likes to leave right after the dance and then drive through the night. I'd much rather sleep, leave at 6 or 7 in the morning. Well, we're not as far away as Kansas City, so probably wouldn't have to leave quite as early. Since Kansas City was like 13, 14 hours.
So we're not going to leave there early? Okay.
But those of you who are planning on going on international, show of hands, those of you who are still planning on going. Michaela, yes. Okay. Start looking ahead at your schedules or reading lists that you have in your classes, see what's going on those weeks. If you have a test schedule, talk to your instructor now to set up when and where you're going to take those tests and things of that nature. So you're not putting your instructor in a bad spot, because this is a school-sponsored activity, but we want to make sure that all of that is working out. If you want to see the agenda, the tentative schedule is on ptk.org. This computer is just barely hanging on. But you go to the events page. Annual convention. And then it lists, the speakers as of right now. A lot of times we don't get confirmation of speakers until a little bit later in the game. But if you want to look at any of the competitions, those are registering now. There's a speech competition. I think there's an essay competition for scholarship money. So it is worthwhile to look into. Well, you should be good at the speech competition. Scholars Bowl, job interview, prepared speech, and extemporaneous, meaning they give you a topic and you create a speech on the spot. Public speaking is one of the number one things that employers say that new college graduates struggle with. So. Most people are more scared of public speaking than of death. Most people would rather be in the coffin and give the eulogy. Believe it or not. What?
Sounds about right.
Yeah. Anywho. Okay. Other stuff on the agenda. So, I will be making the conference reservations this week. So I didn't have the information I needed when I was in California, so I couldn't do it last week. So if you've told me you want to go as of today, and I put you on the list, it'll be your job to find a replacement if you end up not having to go. Okay? I'm not going to necessarily worry about the money as long as you can find somebody to go in your place. Okay? Last thing that we need to discuss is induction, which sounds like a physics term, which I think it is, but it's been a long time since I took a physics class. Last time I was in physics was in 94, 95. So a long time ago. Okay, so April. Come on, you. Okay, so here is the convention. We're going to our hotel reservations the 4th, 5th, 6th, and we leave on the 7th, so we'll probably leave early on the 4th. You lose an hour going there since Orlando's in the east. So we will need to leave fairly early on that one. Okay, your instructors are going to be out either on the 9th or the 10th. Not that we want to be necessarily, but there's statewide professional development, so it's stuff that we need to learn, and that's the best way to do it. Okay, so our induction weeks are probably going to be the week of the 15th or 22nd. Induction is the ceremony where you're welcomed into the organization. We usually have whatever refreshments we still have money for at the end of it. It's a short ceremony. Finals start on May 1st. So would you rather do it 2 weeks before finals or a week before finals? We're all seasoned students at this point.
Yeah, so yeah.
Also, hopefully this is a time where we can celebrate people who have won scholarship activities. One thing to note, I suppose, is the 21st is Easter. It's almost as late as it possibly can be. So I would think the week of the 15th, either the 17th or the 18th, maybe for induction, would probably work best. Because you guys, there's campuses closed on the 19th. So, okay, well, let's look at the week of the 15th and see if we can figure something out. Tax shouldn't be that big a deal for you guys, you know. You don't have that much to do taxes on yet, I would think. Lucky you. Okay, so we'll plan on Krispy Kreme that first week of March. Regional convention, I will send you guys out an itinerary, those of you who are going soon. International, 4th through the 7th, we have our hotels. Again, once I pay your convention fee, the rules are kind of, you need to find somebody to replace you if you can't go, and we'll plan on induction the week of the 15th. Okay? Questions, comments, celebrations?
We did the Krispy Kreme. When did they come in?
That morning.
So when's the deadline for the?
I will, if I think it was the 7th of March, I will need orders probably by the morning of the 6th, because then I can call it in.
Like order them and then sell them once they get.
Well, no, we're gonna do pre-orders. You know, so you can go to, say, your parents and say, how many dozen do you want? They order a couple dozen donuts, and I add that to the order. But then I also kind of ballpark an additional, say, 25 dozen or so. Staff and faculty tend to buy them. Other students tend to buy them. I'd like to set up a table in front of the BCM, so if people want to grab donuts for the weekend, you know, they can do that. But I am going to have a pre-order sheet, so we'll do. And the way that we can put it to people is the only way to guarantee you're getting donuts is to pre-order them. And we can actually take the money. If they do pre-order, they would have to pay, but that means they're paying for their guarantee, basically.
Yeah, so you could say you want the pre-orders due the morning of the 6th,
Mm-hmm.
and then the fundraiser's on the 7th, and then you're gonna get us the pre-order sheet.
Mm-hmm. I can send that out to the same email list I've been using to announce the meetings. Lots and lots of donuts. Well, usually it has in the past, you know, filled up my entire car. I can borrow my father-in-law's car if I need to. Other questions? Okay, so if you're looking for that sheet, I'm woefully behind on a lot of stuff, but I'm going to work to, since this is time sensitive, to get it all done over the next 24 hours or so. But look for that sheet via email, and I'll give you instructions in the email itself on what you need to do with that. Okay? Thank you for coming. I will see you in a couple weeks.
International?
Mm-hmm. Okay, you're going to